We'll call our meeting to order and welcome everybody here this evening. At this time, our city clerk, Melissa, will take roll call.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Here.
Commissioner Swindell.
Here.
Commissioner York.
Here.
Commissioner Maples.
Here.
Mayor Van Oster.
Here. We will now move on to our invocation. Tonight, we'd like to welcome Pastor Mark Wilson from the First Church of God here, and we thank you for coming tonight to give us our invocation.
I want to thank you for, it's a real privilege for us to be able to come and for this wonderful community that would give us the opportunity to pray.
Thank you.
So
Yes.
if you'll bow your hearts with me. Our Father God, we thank you for who you are as our mighty God, our sovereign, and we recognize you in this place, and I am so thankful that we live in a community that gives this opportunity to recognize you as our leader, as our supreme king. And Lord, we're so thankful in this community and all the things that are going on in our world and in our place where we live, that there's a fresh wind blowing across this country, a revival, that young people, particularly in all ages, are bowing their knees to you, bowing their hearts to you, and you are causing us and leading us to a place of repentance, a place of renewal, a place of reviving. And we are so thankful that that is coming into our community, that people are repenting and bowing before you in baptism and being filled with your Spirit. I just pray that even in this meeting, Lord, that you would continue to open the doors and we would recognize you and who you are in our life. We thank you for the business tonight and ask you to preside over it. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor.
Well, you're very welcome.
Appreciate your being here. Okay, we will now move on to review of our agenda. Does anybody have anything to correct, change, add for this evening?
I have nothing, Mayor.
Nothing? Okay, we will now move on to our consent agenda. We have two items. The first one is the City Commission meeting minutes from Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. And the second is our 2023 appropriation ordinance number AO-23-11 in the amount of $1,101,674.97. So do we have any changes to the meeting minutes?
I have none.
I have none. Anybody? Okay, then we'll move on to our appropriation ordinance. Commissioner York usually has some things to point out.
Sure.
Of importance. It's all important.
That's
but,
all, yeah.
But the bigger ones.
Sure. So we have Ashburn Tree Expert Company for $16,395. That's for power line trimmings. Atmos Energy for just gas supply, $20,218.33. Coffeyville Regional Medical Center, this is the sales tax distribution for $623. It was $98,108. Hampel Oil Distributors, this is fuel for the airport, $22,510. High Potential Power Services for electronic supply or electrical supplies for the power plant, $13,824. Tantalus Systems, this is the part of the AMI project, $374,307, and then our payroll of $394,122.
Does anybody have anything else they'd like to point out on the appropriation ordinance for this week? Okay, being nothing, I will move to approve items 1 and 2 of the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion is made by Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner York to approve items 1 and 2 of the consent agenda as presented. Commissioner Swindell.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Commissioner Maples.
Aye.
Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
And Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Okay. We will now move on to comments from the public. Any citizen desiring to address the commission shall be recognized, advance to the podium, state his or her name and address for the record. Comments shall be limited to 3 minutes unless extended by a vote of the majority of the commission. The commission does not hear matters involving litigation or city personnel. The commission does not take action on subjects not on the agenda unless unusual or hardship conditions exist. Citizens may address the commission on agenda items as they are brought to the floor. Do we have anybody here this evening?
I didn't know she was here. Bear with me, Craig Hitt, welcome, or thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. Craig Hitt, 106 North Center Street, Coffeyville. I would like to talk about the golf course. Like 6 weeks ago, you've all received an email, and I got answered back, and it was brought up in the next commission meeting on the carts and stuff like that. I'll go in more on that in a minute. But I think the city has a great asset there.
Absolutely.
It's done by a renowned architect that has done plenty of courses around Kansas and Oklahoma, PGA courses even. To me, I think the city is dropping the ball on it. I know it has brought up the drought, water restrictions. Yes, that was it, but it's been ongoing further than that. One thing is like clover out on the golf course. Now and first of spring, you hit a golf ball, you can't find it anywhere. It goes into that and you can't find it. I know that he was short on help. The course is looking better now. He's got people out there and it is getting mowed to best of his ability, minus mower breakdowns and things like that. Because I have pictures of mowers on 8, but broke down for a week, more on the same mower on the following week or something like that on 4, broke down for 4 days or 3 days. But I just think the course is a great asset to the city. On the other part, the carts, they are, and Mr. Hall said it, they are way past due. They're 21, 22 years old, something like that. Sunday, we have a bi-weekly. They come out here, a bunch of guys come out and sign up to golf and all that stuff, and we can do it. We golf I set up 5 or 6 tee times, and it started at 9:50. I got there at 9 o'clock to get everything going, and there was 3 people from out of town was turned away because they were already out of golf carts right then. And they said, well, do you have any pull carts? And she said, no, I already rented all them too. So that right there, those 3 people was almost $150 of lost revenue. And I don't know how many other ones after that, after we golfed, got turned away. And there's been other times that while I was golfing, they had said, we're gonna have to watch our cart situation. It's a bad situation on that. I'm putting on, I belong to the Southeast Kansas Senior Golf Association. The last 2 years, I haven't had it. First year, it was because of COVID. Last year was cart situation. I didn't know if I'd have enough carts. And this year, it would be cart situation for sure. I usually need about 20 carts to supply for my association. They're used that I've had upwards of 75 golfers out there. It brings in, $2,000 to $2,500 for that for a Wednesday. They've had, and that'd be in September, and then another big tournament scheduled in September. A few years back, it brought $8,000 in for one day, but it was the very first tournament of that, and that'd be kind of hard to take if you missed out on that amount of money. And that's all I'm going to say on it, but I think the city has a great asset there that can bring people in.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you.
Mark,
Very
you want to
much.
address?
Yeah,
Yeah?
sure, go right ahead.
Instead of making you sit through the whole meeting.
Yeah.
We have spoken to, is Clear Creek is the representative, not easy go. It just went blank.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, they are, we just have to review it. It's a municipal lease purchase. It's for 32 carts. They said they felt they could ship immediately, so it's on the next agenda for commission approval. It is one of those, and I think all of us, all of our quality of life, and this is sad to say, is operated in some loss. You can't put a price on a golf course because what it does for the city. I don't know any successful city that doesn't have a golf course. This is a part. It does have a great cost, and I'm not trying to make excuses. What you said is right. We've had, and I think the commission's aware, and this is budget time again, is we've had to go without with a lot of things. So we didn't raise taxes, and, on our part. And that's our responsibility. We have to do that again. We made a management change, and Scott is. It is with the idea to improve the course. Of course, COVID changed a lot of things, and then, I've had, requests on water, and we don't even turn on the fountain. That they want to see the fountain running again. Well, we can't do that and ask people to be conservative with the water. I think it is the first thing is priority, and you mentioned he's getting more help. We do have all these equipment and it costs high, but the carts is a step, and it is one long overdue. I think
Mark, excuse me, your mic's not on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I apologize. I won't
It's okay.
start over. I won't start over. But
okay.
it's long overdue, and you're correct, and that is the city, and what we hope to do with this is the municipal lease purchase is, first you have to buy the bullet and you have to find the money, but it is one of those, it'll be a 66-month lease purchase. We will own those at the end of 66 months. We will sell those back to them, and then we'll get another fleet of 32 golf carts. So it is starting the city to down the road that our golf carts, and you have to start somewhere, is our golf carts will cycle out every 6 years. And that puts us on track. It's one of those that the old saying we all grew up with, it's better to own than, to make payments on. But this is assures that we still keep the quality. They are going to take them back. That's what we've been working on. There is value in some of them, what's left. I think it's actually now down to 14. So in talking to them, and just coincidence today, it's just coincidence, is they have sending us the paperwork for review, which this is not their first rodeo, so there shouldn't be any problems at that. We do have to have commission approval, and we'll get that next meeting. And then he felt confident the delivery will be immediately to us. So going down in September in this, I always say proof's in the pudding. Once you see those there, you'll know they're there.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is it gas or electric?
They're going to be gas.
Because you will use less carts on your poles you have to plug in and electric.
That's it.
And you
Yeah.
can have turnaround like that on gas, so that's,
Well, we're gonna have a little fuel farm, and, you know, but they'll be brand new and 32 of them. Of course, we want everybody to notice when they show up. But it is one of those, there's things, and we went through this, Scott operates with just 2 throughout the year until the season comes, and then relies on, as far as summer help and seasonal help. It is one of those that's pretty hard on an 18-hole, and especially of this quality. But it is, and it's not Scott's fault, I want to say it's mine, is that, you know, the things that we've had to ask him, watering and these things, but the other is the city we still lose money on the golf course. I mean, that's just a given, and it's quality of life.
I've looked at your budget.
You know, it is a quality of life, but what it generates, and you mentioned, what it generates is not in dollars and cents we see on our budget. And it's the reputation. We are starting, and it's been that when anybody flies in to the city at the airport, they're offered free green fees. To get to know our course. And our whole goal is with that is they spread the news that things are coming, things are gonna get better, but, you know, if you wanna fly in, and we hope some say, well, if we're gonna play golf, let's just fly up to do that. But you're rightfully so in your concerns, and instead of sitting there and going, you know, broken promises or trying to do that, I'd rather be honest and say where we're at, and that we want to put our best foot forward. And it is, not to say, I think Scott has done with what he's been given, done well, but it is one of those that we'll get those 32 carts, and we'll keep going from there forward. So I wanted to let you know that how it'll happen, and next agenda, you can look on there and see those.
Okay.
Mark, do you know if he's been able to address his mowing equipment issues?
Well, and that's what, we're in the process of budget, and, you know, mowers are extremely expensive.
Especially for golf.
Scott is done, and to do this, because, you know, you have COVID that hurt things and financially, and everybody is tightening the belt. We do those. We do get demo models. I think it's been quite a while since we just went out and bought brand new. But it is with that, the golf course is being looked at. It's just trying to sit there and do the best with what we have.
Sure.
But we hope, you know, that, you know, the customers have been, by and large, very understanding, and I appreciate that. And, you know, they will see improvements in these things coming to the golf course. So we got to start somewhere, and I'd rather not tell you a story. I'd rather tell you where we're at, and that way, you know, planning in the future. I don't like, and that sometimes is to make promises and then say, oh, it'll be next year. I'd rather sit there, and this is what we do, and when it shows up, then you can say there is 32 new carts there. But they will be gas. They're not the elite model, but it'll start, and like I said, our intention is every 66, so 5.5 years. Every 5.5 years, there'll be a new fleet. And you gotta start that somewhere. This first is gonna cost us, this first round, but the next round, then we trade in those. Now they'll resell them to somebody else, but then we'll lease for another 66 months, and that way it keeps the content instead of, you know, waiting 20 years to buy carts. So we appreciate you. We can only get better if we hear about it. So we do thank you for that, and we'll go forward. And like I said, if Scott's got your number, he'll call you when the carts show up.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Mark, very much for that
Thank you,
update.
Craig.
And thank you, Craig,
Thanks,
for
Craig.
coming up.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Okay, we will now move on to old business, which there is none. And we'll go on into news business. We have several things this evening. The first one is a resolution R-23-29, which is a resolution to approve purchase of patrol and tactical body armor for the Coffeyville Police Department. Our police captain, Darren Daly, will make comments this evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners.
Good evening.
The resolution you have before you is the replacement of the patrol body armor and the tactical body armor for our department. Every 5 years, the body armor basically expires. So every 5 years, we need to purchase the body armor. We did budget for that for this year. However, we weren't anticipating the ARPA funds, which is what we are asking to use for this purchase. So we will utilize, the American Rescue Plan Act. And then with that, we'll purchase the body armor. Once we make the purchase of the body armor, we will also, which we've done every 5 years, as applied for the Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant through the Justice Department. They will pay up to 50% of what our cost was. I don't have any historical numbers on that, because this is the first time I've came up and had to ask for it. So Stephanie Richardson can probably provide that if necessary, as long as we meet their requirements, which we have every year. They've applied for it. So that's our how we plan on paying for them. On your staff report that I sent, there is one change that I discovered this afternoon when I was reviewing my paperwork. One thing did not get included on the quote was some replacement pouches for the patrol body armor, which would be an additional cost of $1,386, which would bring the grand total for the patrol body armor to $31,936.
Okay.
And that was a mistake on my part. I didn't catch earlier. So.
That's all right.
So the staff recommends the approval of purchase of the patrol armor for the $31,936, and also the purchase for the tactical body armor for a total of $14,195 from the ABM Supply out of LLC out of Lenexa, Kansas, and utilizing the ARPA funds for those.
Okay.
I'll take any questions.
And what is your, I didn't see on here, 90 days for delivery approximately?
Approximately, yes.
Okay, 90 and 60 and 90.
Yeah,
Okay.
they actually expire this fall, so we'll be good. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Any questions?
You have any questions? Okay,
If we have none, I'll move to approve Resolution R-23-29 with changes.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Vice Mayor Doan, seconded by Commissioner Maples to approve Resolution R-23-29 with changes. Commissioner York.
Aye.
Commissioner Maples.
Aye.
Mayor Van Oster.
aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Commissioner Swindell.
Aye.
Okay, thank
Thank
you,
you.
Captain Daly, appreciate it. Okay, we will now move on to item number 2, which is Resolution R-23-30, which is a resolution to approve the submission of the Local Safety and Security Equipment Grant for the purpose of purchasing first responder equipment. This evening, our Coffeyville Police Department Communication Director, Chad Souls, is here to make comments.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners.
Good evening.
Good evening.
In February of 2022, the Strengthening People and Revitalization Kansas, also known as SPARKS Task Force, had sent out an email to agencies in regard to the coronavirus. The committee had set aside money for 4 categories: connectivity, efficiency, modernization, health, education, and economic revitalization. During several months of meetings, the SPARK Task Force then broke the money down into several subcategories, at which time the police department is applying for the Local Safety and Security Equipment Grant. The LSSE funds require a match of 10%, and the police department has determined we have sufficient funds to cover the local match. The LSSE would fund the purchase of 6 Kenwood NX59 mobile 800 radios and accessories for the communications center radio consoles. It would also allow us to purchase 3 Kenwood tri-band radios, which are VHF, UHF, and 800, and accessories to use as backup system if the communications center had a disruption to service. And one repeater will be placed into Coffeyville Regional Medical Center. By applying for the LSSE funds, this would allow our communications center to have interoperability with many other agencies on the State of Kansas 800 megahertz system, and the capabilities to place our radio frequency and other agency frequencies together to make one radio system, all while providing a quick response for all first responders mutual aiding setting. Also, during a potential evacuation of our facility or down consoles or mobilization, the backup tri-band radios and patch boxes would provide communication staff the same abilities as if they were actually sitting in the communications center by continuing to dispatch from an off-site location and perform their jobs without any disruption of radio communications with first responders. Last, by placing an in-building repeater, it would allow first responders the ability to continue radio communication with any dead spots and no service, which is very critical in high-stress incidents. Having communications with our partners, first responders, allows for better interoperability and efficiency, which directly benefits the citizens of Coffeyville. Staff recommends approval to submit the LSSE grants for the purpose of purchasing 6 Kenwoods, 3 tri-band radios, and 1 repeater. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
So the grant process, do you know when that decision will be made?
They're looking at probably mid-September, because normally October to about November the following year is when we have to have it all utilized, all the funds, if we're awarded.
Okay. And I noticed on your quotes, it says valid for 30 days. I know.
Yeah, that'll be waived with the company we're going through.
Okay.
Because they know that it takes a
They know
while.
you're going through this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're aware of the
So
grant
they've allowed
process.
for some contingency,
Yes,
just in case? Okay. All right.
And if the grant isn't approved,
We'll search for other grants.
Okay. And our portion, if received, we have to match a 10%, correct?
Correct. So what we're
So-
looking at is around $8,059.
Okay.
And half of it would come out of 911 funds, and the other could come out of either asset forfeitures or VIN funds.
very
Okay.
good.
All right. Got it all planned out. Well, okay. Does anybody have any questions? No? Okay.
So for the cost of $8,000, you're going to get basically $90,000 worth of
$90,000
equipment.
worth of equipment.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay. If there are no further questions, I will move to approve Resolution R-23-30 as presented.
Second.
Motion is made by Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner York to approve Resolution R-23-30 as presented. Commissioner Maples.
Aye.
Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Commissioner Swindell.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Good luck
you.
with that.
Thank you.
We hope that works out. Okay, our third item is Resolution R-23-31, which is a resolution to approve submission of the Gary Sense Foundation application for the purpose of purchasing 7 Zebra rugged tablets and accessories. Once again, our Coffeyville Police Department Communication Director, Chad Souls, will make comments on this.
Hey, good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Been busy looking for grants,
Yeah.
as you can
Yeah.
tell.
I see that.
The Gary Sinus Foundation was established after 9/11. It's to serve the nations by honoring our defenders, veterans, first responders, their families, and those in need. Through the foundation, the grant helps provide critical funding for emergency relief, training, and essential equipment for first responders to ensure they can perform to their best abilities. The Gary Sinus Foundation would fund the purchase of 7 Zebra rugged tablets and all accessories, keyboards and cables, along with securable docking station and mounting brackets for inside the patrol fleet. The ability to purchase the rugged tablets would provide at fingertip investigation tool to both patrol and detectives. It would allow them the capability to see CAD incidents in real time and make notes that is sensitive from radio traffic that would need to be added to CAD incidents. This also provides staff with the ability to look up warrants, report incident history, and view our flock license plate readers while out in the field. Another benefit is the quickness of pulling up information without the delay from the communication center when the communication center is being overwhelmed with incidents. It would both patrol their patrol units without having to, let's redo that. It would allow both patrol and detective staffs to have essential everything in their patrol units without having to always respond to the station to complete an investigation task. Having this type of technology would provide law enforcement a better workflow and directly benefit the citizens of Coffeyville with an even faster response time. Staff recommends approval to apply for the Gary Sinus Foundation funds for the purpose of purchasing 7 Zebra rugged tablets and accessories. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay.
The only thing I wondered about was connectivity on those. What network will they go to?
Still kind of looking at either trying to go through the city Wi-Fi or probably MiFi hotspots in the cars.
They don't do any good if they can't connect.
That's
right? So,
correct.
yeah.
So that's still kind of in the works, but this is the major part of it.
Okay.
So you're talking the total amount.
It's roughly about $56,000.
Okay, that's what I came up with. I want to make sure, 56. Okay.
And this
And
would
when do
all be
you-
funded by the foundation.
Okay.
By the grant.
And how's your time frame on that to hear from them?
Pretty much it is, once they get it, they review it. It's basically on them.
Okay.
And it's 100%. It's no matching.
No match, it's 100%. And they're the ones that actually purchase it and actually bring it to us.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's nothing that comes to us, it all goes through the
It all goes
foundation.
To them and then they, okay, great. Any
Good
further
job,
questions?
Good find.
Yeah,
Good job.
very good.
Mayor, if there are no other
Been
questions-
searching for several of them.
if there are no other questions, I'll move to approve resolution R 2331 as presented.
Go ahead.
I think we all second.
Yeah.
Take your pick.
There you go.
Okay. Motion is made by Commissioner York, seconded by Commissioner Maples to approve Resolution R-23-31 as presented. Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Commissioner Swindell.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Commissioner Maples.
Aye.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Chad, very much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate all your work. Okay, we now move on to item number 4, which is an ordinance G-23-02, which is an ordinance amending certain electric rate schedules pursuant to Section 42-6 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Coffeyville to adjust our electric rates to reflect the cost of the service study update. Here this evening is our Director of Electric Services, Mike Shook, and to make comments.
Good evening, Mayor Commissioners.
Good evening.
The City of Coffeyville's had an electric cost of service study performed approximately every 2 years since 2015 by Utility Financial Solutions, or UFS, which includes rate design. The plan was and remains today to slowly adjust electric rates to meet cost of service. The recently completed cost of service study by UFS has determined and recommends adjusting electric rates slightly to bring rates closer to the actual cost of service for each individual rate class, as explained in UFS rate design dated 3/9/23 and included in your packet with my staff report. The process to move each customer rate class to their respective cost of service has involved adjusting rates slightly each year, including instituting a monthly customer charge for each class of service. The design of the rates is to move the utility's fixed cost into the monthly customer charge while making the actual energy charge a pass-through. Based on the most recent rate design, customers in most rate classes should realize a decrease in cost per kilowatt hour with a $1 per month increase in their customer charge. Customers in the general service with demand rate class will see a minimal increase of 0.0004 cents per kilowatt hour with no increase to their monthly customer charge. As designed, this should be either cost neutral or even a slight decrease to most customers. Therefore, staff is recommending that the rate adjustments as proposed be approved to meet cost of service, with staff and Utility Financial Solutions updating the cost of service again in 2025, and I would be happy to try to answer any questions that you may have.
So when you look at the rate design summary sheet on this, I mean, it truly does keep things pretty neutral.
It's pretty flat line.
Yeah.
We're just shifting from one spot to another. Just for example, I did do just a comparison on the current rate schedule. An average residential customer that would use 1,500 kilowatt hours in a month, their customer current charge is $17 per month times the current rate of 0.0936 times 1,500. That total bill would be $157.40. After this goes into effect October 1st of 2023, their bill would actually go down $2.18, just as an example. A customer with the general service with demand, same comparison, slightly higher usage, 4,000 kilowatts. They have demand component as well. They would see potentially a 16-cent increase. So it's pretty flat, yeah. This has been as we stated, we started this in 2015, and we're trying to stop the cross-subsidization of rates to get every class where they're paying their fair share of it.
Good.
Okay.
Well,
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it was a lot.
I'm
to
thinking
read there,
it's a lot of
but
work,
It's good.
so.
It's good. Okay.
Well, if
Does
there's no
anybody have
question-
any questions?
I'll move to approve ordinance G-23-02 as presented.
Second.
Motion is made by Commissioner Maples, seconded by Commissioner York to approve ordinance G-23-02 as presented. Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Commissioner Swindell.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Commissioner Maples.
Aye.
Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
Good job on that.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Appreciate it. Okay, moving on to number 5, we have discussion and action to approve a cereal malt beverage license for Vapor 69 pending inspection from the Coffeyville Fire Department. Our city clerk, Melissa Carter, will make comments.
Mayor and Commissioners, Vapor 69 at 1418 South Walnut has requested a cereal malt beverage license. They've submitted their application, affidavit, and the KBI background check is complete. Inspection from the Coffeyville Fire Department is pending as the owner is awaiting a visit from FireX. Once the facility is ready, the owner will give us a call and the fire department will inspect. Happy to answer any questions you have.
They've filled out all the proper things and passed, and just waiting on
Just waiting
fire
on the
department.
inspection.
So this is
Inspection?
pending that, okay. All right, does anybody have any questions? Okay. If not, I will move to approve a cereal malt beverage license for Vapor 69 pending the inspection from the Coffeyville Fire Department.
Second.
Motion is made by Mayor Van Oster, seconded by Commissioner York to approve a cereal malt beverage license for Vapor 69 pending inspection from the Coffeyville Fire Department. Commissioner Swindell.
Aye.
Commissioner York.
Aye.
Commissioner Maples.
Aye.
Mayor Van Oster.
Aye.
And Vice Mayor Doan.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Okay, we will now move on to the city manager's report.
Mayor, Commissioners, I think you know that all departments look for grants of some kind, and because of the financial situation that, Coffeyville has been, loss of population, less ratepayers and that, it is one of those, every time we receive a grant, that saves taxpayers money. And that's what we should do, and that's what we are doing. Very proud of course, Chuck, you're aware of. He's out there looking for anything we possibly can. Chad is done very, very, very well. And of course, other departments do. Fire and others look for grants also. So very proud of that. As far as the city, we're now into summer, and it is one of those we will make every effort, what we did in winter and spring, to put ourselves ahead. So far, things are going very well. We did, and I think you're aware, we received a large shipment. We still have another large shipment of playground equipment. Melissa has put that out to let people. We've received calls, excited about it. It is one of those, this is, of course, our first park, but these were the slide features. We are still, another shipment will be the swings, but in the playground and the slides, it is actually, there is 2 separate. And that'll be in one area, but there'll be a big one, and there'll be another one, and the other one will have a shade feature on top of it. But things are going. We have put out to all departments, and I thank Allison for that if anybody has time, they're welcome to contact Bobby Joe, which is the Director of Public Service, and participate in the construction of the playgrounds. This is something that all departments are welcome if they can get a break, and we know they're busy, but it's the idea that we as a city recognize that Coffeyville is important to us. The children are important, and all can participate. And that is, I've had a lot of offers from public service, as far as customer service, I mean, to court, to other things that could we come out and help. And so we're going to have 10 years of this in the city. We'll take pride in doing this for the citizens. Of course, they voted it in, but it'll be a special thing, and that goes along with our housing programs. Coffeyville is moving forward this year for success in the future, but it all ties together, and great things the housing department is doing, and everything will start rolling at once, and it'll be to take Coffeyville to another place. And Coffeyville deserves that. The citizens are great, and they deserve to win. So that being said, if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer those, and I'm open for questions.
Does anybody
Can you
have any
give,
questions?
so I see Charlie out here as well, can you kind of give an update of where we're at on the USDA program?
Yes, want to give an update? Yeah, there you go.
Not to put you on the spot, Charlie.
Rebecca and Malachi and the housing department's been working extremely hard the past couple weeks. USDA has asked us to update all of our information that we originally sent in because we're that close to starting now. We've had 2 formally approved from USDA. We've got 1 more that we're waiting on to hear approval that's submitted. We only need 4 to start. So they've asked us as of last week to get everything updated so that way we're ready to go. And I can promise you Malachi and Rebecca are ready to go. Yes. So we're ready on all. Engineering, code enforcement, they've helped us so much. They're not here, but they deserve a pat on the back as well. They've gone above and beyond, helping us, not only doing their job, but helping us along the way, every single question we have, which is a lot. So but we're close.
I also saw
We're
in
close.
the building reports where Coffeyville Industries has gotten their building permits for 7 new homes as
Yes.
well. and-
Yep.
Saw that.
Yep.
Yep,
So-
they're ready to go too. Mike is, Mr. Avey's been doing, he's been working day and night on getting that done, and doing 7 at once is a huge thing, so.
There's
for
dirt
Coffeyville.
work, I noticed.
Yes, yeah, it's great for our community.
It is.
Thank you, Charlie.
And we
Thank
owe a
you.
lot to that, to Mr. Hall and to all of you. If you guys wouldn't have approved that a year and a half ago, then we wouldn't be here today either. So thank you guys for everything that you've done also.
Thanks.
Thank
Very
you.
Good.
much.
Appreciate all your
Thank
work.
you.
Thank you.
I will say, since it's new to Coffeyville, and of course Charlie and the department is getting out, we're having inquiries more about the programs that are started in housing. It is something, and like I say, the USDA program, it's something new to Coffeyville. So we knew, people, it's first-time home buyer. You're telling them we offer that, but then we are trying to stack that with another program to actually increase that, but it's just the idea, well, we've never had a first-time homebuyer program. We're seeing that, and, you know, Mr. Bryce is taking advantage of downtown. Like you're aware, we started this last year, but the awning, and I spoke to Mrs. Bryce this weekend, and the awning is, our intent is to remove the awning. Of course, we'll have pigeons, but they face, it's funny, I learned something, that pigeons face the street. So that means the pigeon stuff
Yeah.
goes on the roof instead of they
On the
turn
sidewalk,
around. And so hopefully, if you notice, there still is, and that's the best way I could explain it.
okay.
It was pointed out to me that why is, and if you go early in the morning and you look on top of the buildings, they're just lined with pigeons, but they're facing you. They're facing you on the other side, the north side. So you walk along, and it doesn't look like, of course, we know the awning is a nesting area and this stuff, but I was amazed till somebody that was down there, and I'll leave his name out of it, he pointed out, and I said, I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
I can look up there and see hundreds on the north side, and I can see hundreds on the south side. Now, I know the awning's doing that. But he said, in a nice way, they're facing you. And I go, and then I figured, he explained that to me. So that's what we hope to. I think pigeons, just because of the grain elevators and that stuff, that'll always be a problem.
Yes.
I did, you know, we used to eradicate them a certain way 40 years ago, and that's been brought up, but we can't do that anymore. It is one of those, you cannot poison pigeons. It is, there's been a lot of suggestions, and I know you wish you could say yes, but it is one of those, the commission, you are addressing that. We had another walkthrough. It is one of those that our intent is to get that done as soon as possible. What you will see is that we will address the issues, we will snow fence and move along and get it ready, and then when the removal time comes, that will only take, as far as the columns, just 1 or 2 days. There is actually 31 of those columns, and I didn't realize I miscounted, but when you go along and you count every one, there's 31. There is a bolt pattern underneath, which you had to go knock on doors to find out this, but so we'll have to remove the cement around the column. We will not touch that. We will remove all the tiles. We will remove all the board or cement board or whatever. We will get that ready, and then the bolts at the time when we take them up, that is when we will undo the bolts. So it is a process. We've already talked about and discussed. We will snow fence the area whenever we're doing right in front of a business. We'll make sure the business knows that, you know, we're gonna get this, but then we'll leave that gap once we move on. So people can go still in and out. Most of them have told us that we've talked to, they do have a back entrance. So if there's any inconvenience, we're gonna try to do this not at peak times, but in other words, if we were right in front of a restaurant, and we wouldn't want anything to fall, while we're removing that, we will snow fence it, and push come to shove, they could use the back entrance. We're gonna try not to inconvenience, but then when we move on, we'll have snow fence on each side so they can go right into the entryway. So it's just a process of leapfrogging around and around and moving around, and then doing the final, which will be removal of the columns. So we're pinning that down. It's turned to be more of a process than I thought. I thought you just pulled them up. You know, after you took them, they said, oh no, there's bolts underneath the cement, and you gotta cut it out. So, that is our intent for downtown, and, they will see it, and hopefully, what I learned about pigeons is that's
They face
in a
the street.
weird way, will make it a little better.
Yeah.
It'll make it a little better.
I do want to say, this is not something that we just started on. You've been
No.
working on this
No, this
for
is, it
several
has-
months, because I know the electric department went down several months ago, and they disconnected all those in-ground
yes.
lights
Yeah.
and the plugs that are, some of them that are on columns, if I remember correctly. So this has been something that's been in the works
Yes.
for quite some time, not just the last month.
What's been pointed out to me also is those pitches didn't just start.
Right, no.
And that awning has been there, I think, way my understanding, since urban renewal.
About 1972.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so
So,
I
it's-
commend the commission that this is something you're addressing that hasn't been addressed. And it's been a process, it's been talked
Yeah.
about, but we're actually going to see that happen. And then, which I'm adding, and we've already had people for our downtown grants and incentives. We have already one taken that, but this is, and we'll make sure they're aware of, that they can use their facade. You know, that's a 50-50 match up to $5,000.
Right.
And that if they, once, we don't know what things look like until that awning comes down. But then there is, you know, if somebody was gonna put that, you know, it had to do the facade, they could apply with the city. And like I said, if they spent 10,000, they would get 5,000 back. So it's kind of the programs line up, and we're already getting some requests for doing things downtown.
So I did receive a pamphlet in the mail, I think yesterday, for my businesses down there, so very well done. A booklet explaining the grant process and had the applications attached to it. Did you put that together, Charlie, or? Yeah, it's a good job,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm assuming every business owner down there got one?
We sent to
Yep,
those
yeah.
business owners, and we're going to, once we pin this down, we'll actually, you know, we want a month,
Thank you, Pastor.
Okay,
a month notice before we do anything.
Yep.
all right, okay, all right. Thank you, Mark, very much for bringing all that out. Okay, next, we have comments from commissioners and staff. Deborah, you have anything?
Saturday, Cedar Bluff Camp 100th anniversary celebration. I think it's 11 to 2. Is that what
I
time
think
it
it's
is?
10 to 2.
10 to 2.
10 to 2.
Come out, and if you haven't been out to Cedar Bluff Camp, you should come out. It's kind of cool.
Here again, what a wonderful asset it is out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people forget it's out there, and
Yep.
it's a really neat place to be. So come out and enjoy the camp.
We also have the breakfast this Saturday, 7 to 10:30 at Vanguard Christian Academy. All the proceeds go to the scholarship fund for the students. So,
There you go, we'll eat breakfast and then go out to the camp.
So
There
you
you
go
go.
to camp.
get
Yep.
you a day plan.
Do you have anything in particular?
I do, but you can go first.
Is it this? Since text?
No.
Okay, I was trying to say.
No, I'm not going to steal your glory.
No, I'm not doing that. I
Oh,
just
okay.
had that printed,
No.
yeah. I just want to bring up, you know, we talked about things, the amenities in Coffeyville as far as like the golf course. We also have the aquatic center now. And I believe because this Sunday is Father's Day, the admission is $1 for all fathers and so for everybody. So, good day to go there and enjoy the aquatic center and all that it has to offer. Also, we bring up about the different parks and the parks that we have that are coming up, Sycamore Park and so forth. And also the walking trails that are being done, the safe routes to schools and the rails to trails. I know the safe routes to schools, some of those things have had a little issues the last couple of weeks, but I think they're getting those worked out and getting things done and moved on with that. But there's a lot to all of that. But if you have not walked some of those, please go out and do so because they're very nice, and when they're all going to be done, it's going to be really great. And it's just another good thing added to Coffeyville through, once again, a grant process. And we were very, Safe Route to Schools through KDOT and the Rails to Trails. We're very lucky and fortunate to have those kind of things come up to where we can get all those done.
Well, and I will add to that we do apologize to the community. There has been some inconvenience,
Yes.
and this is we have complained to KDOT. This is a grant program through KDOT. It is one of those, they control it, and they control the spending and the money. The only thing we can do is, since they control, is we can complain. So we have sent on several, and that is the cleanup and moving forward. We have sent complaints to them, and of course, we wait their answer. But it is one of those that some of that is just out of our control because it's with the state. And they're not doing it on purpose. They have other projects going on everywhere. It's just, we want to be the squeaky wheel that gets the grease.
Okay, all right, that's all I had.
I had a couple, Mayor. So we had an event out at the airport this last week. It was 48 and 48. So it was a couple of pilots, I believe out of Michigan, and a mechanic with them, and they were setting a new Guinness Book of World Record for touching down in 48 states in 48 hours in traveling across the country. My wife and I actually got to go out to the airport and greet them as they came in. There was about 30 people out there. Actually, it was 11 o'clock on a Monday night. The pilots were just floored that many people were out at our little municipal airport at 11 o'clock at night to see them. But we were able to. So Ron and Lydia Bryce donated a bag of Wayward Sun coffee, and so we were able to give them a bag of Coffeyville coffee and something to remember Coffeyville by. And so that was very nice. Jared Powers, actually, the airport director, acquired a shirt for them, so they were able to get a Coffeyville shirt as well. But what a wonderful event, and hopefully others will be inspired to now try and break their record and want us to come and see Coffeyville as well. They did buy fuel while they were here, so that was a good thing. Here again, Jared's done such a wonderful job in getting the airport fixed up and operating well, and his assistant Jesse Gath, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, was also there. They did a fantastic job of taking care of the crew. These guys couldn't have been happier than with the treatment they got out there. So I just want to congratulate them and say thank you for the job they do. And here again, they're both out there at 11 o'clock at night on a Monday night, making sure this was taken care of. So City Rec Commission actually has their ribbon cutting, I believe, on the 30th, correct?
Yes,
in
at 10
Sherman
o'clock.
Williams Park. So
10 o'clock.
I want to congratulate them on getting that project completed, and driving by there, it looks like a wonderful park facility. So good job, City Rec.
It's going to be very nice.
Yes, it will. Yep.
Okay. Your turn.
So, it's kind of a joke. I get so excited about the sales tax. They make fun of me, but I was looking back from 2016. It is a steady increase. I kind of geek out over this, but it's such a benefit to our citizens if we buy local, and I'm so excited to see what it's going to be at the end of the year, because we're way ahead of what we were last year, and last year was phenomenal. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. The thing that I really wanted to talk about, since you were making fun of me, we've mentioned budget session. So when is the deadline to submit any requests for funding?
The request for funding deadline is June 30th.
Okay.
It is July 1. We'll accept up to June 30th. It is one of those, they've been sent out. We do, if anybody would like to, we can send them an application. We do usually have a consistent group, and we've already sent those. But it is one of those that if they'll get that turned into us, and then the procedure will have a night usually in the first week or second week in July, and then we will follow with the budget sessions afterwards. But they have till the end. If there's anybody that needs anything that we can do, one, they can stop by City Hall and we can get an application to them and put them on a list. But they're available and, we'll do anything to help them get that turned in.
I did see today, it's out on the website as well to notify people.
Yeah.
Very
So,
wonderful. Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate all your work.
Okay. Anything else? If nothing, then I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion is made by Mayor Vanna,